In this video, I'll be discussing the calculations for the layout designer in Easy Composites. The calculations are the 4 rows you see here, and these are meant to show you how it's going to build the layout before you actually create the preview or create the layout. And these calculations automatically adjust whenever you make changes to any of the settings or to the number of images per row. So we'll start just top to bottom here. Image count, it's pretty self-explanatory. If I just change the number of images in a row, that's going to change. This is the total number of images for the design. So it's going to add up all the images per row so you don't have to do the math. The margins, this is top, bottom, left, and right, and that is in inches. So right now it's telling us that the top margin is 1, the bottom margin is 1, all the margins around the template are 1, and this is going to change if you change your margin setting, or if you change the composite width, those will change too. But that's just a quick way of seeing what that is. The slot and row spacing. What this is the spacing between, the slot spacing is the spacing between the slots left to right. Let's see if I can get my selection right on the edge here. So we've got 0.28 inches you see in my selection here. And that is this 0.28 inches you're seeing here in the spacing. Then you see vertically we've got 0.34 inches on the selection here, and that is what this row spacing is, and that's the spacing between the rows. You'll see one is green and one is white. I discussed that in the video specifically for spacing and why one will be green and one will be white, so make sure to watch that because that's important. And the image size, this is not in inches. The others are in inches, but this is in pixels. I just found when I was creating this that I liked it in pixels better, because if you're doing a lot of images, they end up less than an inch. So instead of it saying 0.625 inches when you have a template that's got, hundreds of cutouts on them, it's just, I just liked it in pixels better. But that's telling you the actual size where it's going to scale the smart object to. So in this case, the image size will be 684 by 855 pixels. And that will always be smaller than the actual smart object size. We can see of 1120 by 1400. So it's scaling those smart objects down to fit this image size. And when you build, it's always going to pick a smart object that's a little bit larger than the image size. That way it gives you room to scale up a little bit if you have to after you build the design. Anyway, that's about it. I'll just demonstrate here real quick. Like say, for example, if we change our row spacing minimums, we can see these spacings change. The image size will dynamically change because of that. If we add more images per row, you can see that now the image sizes change and the spacings are changing. So it's dynamically changing all of these as you change anything in here. So let's say we even change the text. Let's say we go to no text at all. You see that that spacing is changing. Or if we go to first and last name and 2 text rows, you see this is dynamically changing. So just a really easy way to see what it's going to do before you build it. So I suggest watching these and getting familiar with this as you're building your layout, or as you're setting the settings for your layout. Then the next step is creating a layout preview. And then once you're happy with the preview, then creating the actual layout. Hope this helps, and be sure to move on to the other videos where I discussed more in depth on the margins and spacing that correspond to these values here.